Very good afternoon to you, our cherished and discerning listeners, and welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite business development program on radio, Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, they say good energy, Goyle, Yanara, Yedia. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and runs all the way through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation, Joy 99.7. My name, as always, is Barnafo, and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. Today's show is one of those shows that comes with mixed feelings. And just like Sammy Forson said, it's going to be our last show for this year, 2022. So we're sort of wrapping up on all the discussions that we've had this year. So our resource persons for this show today will be you, our cherished listeners. At some point, we will get interactive. We'll open the phone lines and would like to hear your feedback concerning Masterclass for the entire year and the delivery that has been brought to you through Joy FM for the year 2022, and we hope that some of the information that has been shared has also been beneficial to your businesses as well. We'll also take the time out to acknowledge some of our resource persons, all of our resource persons actually, who were able to come through and share some information with us. Like I've always said here on the show, that the information that we bring to you are from Ghanaians, men and women of renown from their various fields of endeavor, and they come to share this information with us pro bono, so that we don't have to pay for any of this information. We'll also try and bring you some sound bites from some of those sessions that we had back in the day, just to sort of remind us of some of the things that we shared, so that if you've forgotten them, by all means, you can make notes as well. If you also want to watch the full edition of any of the shows from January till now, by all means, go to our Facebook page. Those videos are available and you can download them and you can also watch them. Last week here on the show, we sort of concluded our conversation here with Stephen Bwedi of Enable Growth Africa. He came to complete the conversation on digital strategy for growth, which was started by Ebo Richardson. Good afternoon to you, Stephen. Good afternoon to you, Ebo. And thank you for coming through Masterclass and sharing those thoughts with us. And one of the things that they shared that sort of stayed with me is that, you know how whenever the conversation on digitalization, or everything surrounding that conversation comes up, we sort of, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as leaders of our businesses, as COOs, we sort of kind of leave it to the IT guys and the tech guys and say, oh, they are the ones who understand it. They are the ones who sort of know how to deal with it, because digitization is IT. Now, this is what Ebo sought to demystify and explain, as well as Stephen. And they said, listen, guys, digitization and digitalization should be a lifestyle. It should be the way you begin to think about your business. So you're a business owner, you missed that show, by all means go back and listen. But otherwise, the takeout from that show was that we should begin to think about digitization and digitalization as a lifestyle throughout our entire business. If time does permit, we will get Ebo on the show through a phone call, and he'll be able to share some additional thoughts with us. We've had up to about 20 resource persons or more coming here through the show, and they've, like I said, shared some information with us that has helped us greatly. So just by way of recap, we want to start from the month of January, for those who remember when we started. And just also as a heads up for our listeners, today we'll be giving away some prizes on Masterclass. There'll be a small quiz at the end of today's session, just to sort of help our listeners to recap and remember some of the things that they have learned. No exam on Masterclass, no test to be written, but we want you to remember what we share, because it comes to you free, it comes to you pro bono, and we want you to remember it so that it can help your businesses and help other people's businesses as well. So there'll be a short quiz. You can get your pens and paper ready, and my production crew are here ready and poised to help me. Once you get the answers correct, when we get interactive, there is a prize waiting for you ahead of Christmas. So in the month of January, we spent some time, and February actually, we spent some time here on the show talking about leadership. And we had a wonderful resource person here in the studio. Leadership is one of those topics that here on Masterclass we've sort of brought back again and again and again. Because in all fields of endeavor, even in our family lives, in our schools, in our businesses, in our churches, in our shops, wherever we go, even in our football clubs, wherever we go, leadership is one of those conversations that we cannot do without. Somebody's got to show leadership. Then everyone will follow. Is everyone a leader? We found out in that conversation that not everyone is born a leader. Some people are great followers, but some people are also great leaders. And one of the things I remember our resource person shared was that if you have a problem with the people that you're leading, then take a look at how you are leading them. because somehow leadership, like all other things, and even like the mirror, is a reflection of the person leading. And therefore, if you're leading right, then you will get the right reaction. Of course, there were many facets to that conversation, and we were privileged to have here with us in the studio when we started this conversation in January and also through February, the CEO of AfriConsult, in the person of Martin Atafin. Martin spent some time here with us. Martin, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you for coming through Masterclass. We're looking forward to you coming back and sharing some additional information with us in the coming year. And just by way of summary, Martin talked about the introduction to leadership, what it was not. And I remember a quotation from Alexander the Great, which stayed with me. He says, I'm not afraid of an army of sheep led by lions. I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep, but I'm afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. And clearly it shows that leadership shows that direction. He also went on to talk about leadership styles, the various styles of leadership. We talk about all the styles and the theories, but clearly at the end of that conversation, what he said was that, listen, everyone's got a personality, and you need to understand your context, the people that you're leading. So as a business owner, what are the temperaments of the people you're leading? What is the product that you're selling or offering? Is it a service? Is it a product? What is the context? And when you have been able to identify who are the target audience and what are the other relevant factors, when you have done all that, then you determine the style of leadership that helps. The kind of leadership required, for example, in a manufacturing firm would not be the same as the kind of leadership required, let's say, in a call center. It will not be the same kind of leadership required, let's say, in a financial institution. And when we get interactive, these are some of the things that I want to hear from you, our resource person today, you, our cherished listeners. What are your specific experiences? Because when we share this information, we like to know that it applies to your context and it is relevant to your process so that others can also learn. And also because life is really too short to make all the mistakes ourselves, isn't it? So when other people hear your experience and your story, then they can learn and become better. And hopefully they don't make the same mistake. After leadership styles, he went on to talk about the leadership assessment, which is what I just talked about, looking at all the factors involved and making sure that whatever style that you're choosing to lead is relevant. At some point, he mentioned also that there is no one leadership style that is, should I say, key or prescribed for every situation, in a sense that in a continuum of space, be it 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, different styles of leadership are required for different parts of your process. And so, for example, at some point, you'll need to be hard on your staff. There's something that they call tough love. At some point, you need to show empathy. At some point, you need to show a bit more concern. At some point, you need to show love. At some point, you need to just sort of motivate your guys. But then at some point, you also need to be a bit strict and stiff with them. So a combination of leadership styles was what was recommended in that conversation. And Martin stayed with us again in the month of February. And there he also went on to talk about leading with emotional emotional intelligence. James Addison, very good afternoon to you. He's the founder of the first Emotional Intelligence Center here in Ghana, and he's been here on Masterclass, and he talked about the importance of emotional intelligence. I cannot begin to talk about that. I think we maybe have enough time on the show if I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence, but essentially it's one of those things that will say that when you go to school, you learn what the school teaches you, but the school cannot teach you emotional intelligence. When to say what and when not to say what to say when and what not to say when. Sometimes people say that as a boss, you say come to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you show up at 9 or 10. They're probably going to do it because they're afraid of you, but somebody once said that your actions are speaking so loudly that I cannot hear what you are saying. When you walk into your boss's office, for example, and you want to share something personal with him, his body language speaks a lot to you. And all that was part of emotional intelligence, that as a leader of your business, as an employee, if somebody wanted your attention to discuss something, it was important to be sensitive. So, have you ever experienced that thing where somebody came to you as a boss, as a leader, and says, boss, can I talk to you? And then you say yes. And they sit down and they say, never mind, boss, I'll come back later. What has happened is that your body language has communicated to them that you're not ready to listen. And if you're not ready to listen, they can't talk to you about it because they feel that they're probably going to bother you. Emotional intelligence is key in all of our endeavor, especially the example of, for example, if you've got, let's say, people who watch over your company or your premises, and on a Friday, you're going home, let's say, or end of day, and you find that the greeting, particularly at that time, is significantly stronger than it has been in all other days, then they're sending you a message. If they send you that message and you don't get it, they continue and they make a statement like, boss, today is Friday. You need to understand that they're trying to communicate something. Clearly, the people who are around us may not necessarily audibly see everything that they want to say to us as business owners. Some of them will be communicated, but we need that kind of emotional intelligence to be able to deal with things. Are you also the kind of manager or leader who gets upset, and when you're angry, you don't stop to listen, you don't stop to breathe? All hell must break loose before. When that happens, people find out that you're not a patient person, and therefore, in dealing with you, they may decide to withhold some information from you. He also went to talk about the leadership brand. As a leader, you must be known for something. You can't be all things to all men. You must be some things to some people. So clearly, that was also important. And then, of course, he talked about developing your brand and also looking at employee engagement. Clearly, we always talk about the customer changing and the customer moving on and trying to do things for himself, and evolving. Like we all say that we are customers as well. The customer is not the person in the mirror. The customer is you and me. So when you go to work in the morning, you're a customer to someone. And therefore, employee engagement is key. Sometimes we need to be empathetic when we're dealing with our customers and our staff. Then we went on to the month of March, where we shared some thoughts. That was rather an interesting conversation. We talked about banking in Ghana. That was a general topic. But under those topics, we talked about processing claims of deceased staff and credit balances. And that was an interesting one because there were quite a number of us who are in that kind of situation. On that conversation, we had John Adama sharing some thoughts with us in that conversation. We also had Ronald Mate, who came through, and we had Kofi Ewuku of GCB Capital, who also came and shared some thoughts with us in terms of investments and where to put your money. The month of March was a rather interesting one, and he also talked about portfolio construction and investment risks, where to put your money. Suffice it to say that from March, when he shared those thoughts, if we only knew that things were going to be like this today, we would have probably taken seriously some of the things that Kofi shared with us. Kofi, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Ronald and John as well. Thank you so much for coming through. Then we moved to the month of April, where we had Richard Edu Dakon and Kwao DeGraff Johnson, who came to share additional information with us. Here they talked about corporate governance and due diligence. They also talked about return on investments. Clearly, it's a business show. We want our SMEs to become better and bigger and stronger. So clearly, we also needed to be able to measure when you put money in your business. How do you measure the returns on investment? Some of them are direct, some of them are not direct. Some of them are immediate, others are not. And there's always been this example about some of our business people. I'll try not to be as specific as possible. Some of our business people who are actually running losses in their business, but because of the volumes involved, they're not keeping the books, and therefore they assume that they're making money. And the example he gave was that, for example, if you have $100,000 at a time, the potential of that $100,000 is, let's say, 7 times that same amount, depending on the kind of industry that you are. If you invested that $100,000 in a business, let's say you're into pharmacy or you're into women's products, cosmetic products, hair, shoes, and you made 300,000 out of that money, in addition to the 100,000, you would think you've made profit, but the full potential of that money has not been realized, and you will only know that if you're keeping your books properly. So there is more potential out there which we need to look at. Then we moved to the month of May, where we looked at developing an abundance mindset. Our brother Daniel Sapong shared some thoughts with us, and he was so full of energy when he spoke. He talked about imagining the thing that you want to be, and it's all about the power of the mind. Having done everything that needs to be done, having thought through all the things that need to be thought through, the principles, put the money in investments, do the right things, keep your books, recruit the right personnel, do the right pitches. You need to be able to see, as a business person, where you want to get to. And that's why he was talking about the vision and the mission and all of that. As a business owner, most of the times, it's only the owner who knows and sees the vision. And it's important for everyone else to see it. Because if you can see where you are going, then clearly your journey there is halfway done. So under that conversation, he spent 4 weeks with us. And he talked about the mindset to deal with business challenges, uncertainties, and stress. Again, it's interesting he talks about this because later on in the year, we had people come and tell us about the Startup Dialogue series, people's real-life experiences where they talked about challenges that almost made them stop. But the only thing that kept them going was that they could see where they were going. And every successful business person will tell you that the difference between them and those who got to the point where they got to and stopped was that when they got there, they could still see where they were going. As a business owner, have you been stopped by challenges? Have you been set back? You went to borrow money from the bank and then you want to, import some goods you were about to export. You want to, let's say, buy some stuff you're about to export them. Let's say a box of pineapples, a box of yams, and then it caught fire and everything bent. Clearly, that's a big challenge. But does it set you back in a way that prevents you from continuing? He also went to talk about mindset strategies and developing the abundance mindset for success. And then we went to the month of June. We had quite a bit of fun in the month of June where we talked about the Startup Dialogue series. And we had interesting Ghanaians come up. We had Lloyd Kusi from Penta Foods. We also had Sewa Jemfi Duku from Chop Shop. We had Bernard Kojo Amwafo of Sheldon Media, Kojo Sheldon. We also had Sule Amin Abubakar. And here we had Christian Boache. Let's take you back briefly to that conversation. I think we have some excerpts from the conversation with Sule Amin. And let's just take a quick listen from that conversation, and we'll be right back.
Look, I've heard people speak about their business. Out of like my curious mind, I spend a lot of time reading about other people's businesses and how they grow. Looks like because we live in a fast food kind of world, we have fast food, fast fashion, and everything being fast and instant for us. I can't believe anything else should be fast or faster. And that's definitely not the case. Look, people go through a lot of challenges they don't talk about. And it's actually one of the reasons I actually agreed to come this time.
Because, to encourage somebody.
To encourage somebody. Look, I don't want to focus more on the financials because, I mean, it's a cliche now. Everybody's talking about funding. Look, it's a reality, but let's look at the other things. Even building a team, having people to believe in your idea, your vision, and after you've even had people to build this business or company with, how you even understand each other. Not everybody believes in that same vision. You have somebody is there to make a living, get paid, and go home. Somebody is also there to help you grow the business. And even with investment, somebody just wants to give you money because he wants returns. Another person wants to help you grow the business together. So look, trusting people. This is not to say we are even perfect. I mean, I've doubted myself more than anything. I have cried in doing Zaco. And look, I quit Zaco, and the next day I'm back in the factory. Yeah. Look, I'm trying to recall all the most painful challenges. There was
Which is the most painful?
In 2017.
Yes.
We had this customer from Lebanon.
This is a year after you started.
Yeah. This customer from Lebanon who wanted chocolate. He came at the time we agreed on a good deal. Like, imagine I'm selling Chaco for five CDs and then somebody's bringing like $10,000 deal. And yeah, that was huge. It was like a big order to really make some money. And this wasn't going to be a one-time thing. We killed ourselves to get this order done. And in the process, we decided, Charlie, this particular night, that was the last night to complete the order. This particular night, we are not even coming home. We'll stay in the bush in Ottawa. So around 10 p.m., myself and the boys said, we're hungry. Let's go to town, get some food, and then come back. We'll sleep in the car. We went, everything was okay. We went to the town, got some Indomie. On our way back, we saw the entire place was like lit up, red. The charcoal were burning actually. I don't know how it got out of hand. Everything was on fire, and this fire had entered the factory. It was even into other people's farms.
No.
And we could see it from the main road. So quickly we had to turn back, drive back to Dodowa, and call fire service to come. And when fire service comes in, you don't even get fire permits. You don't even get this, you don't get that, you don't get that. Now the factory had to shut down for like a long time to make sure we get all these things fixed.
Oh, that must have been painful.
Yes. Customer comes the next day and your entire factory is down. That's just one of those small ones. And then there was
Do you ever think that
yeah,
it didn't happen by itself?
Look, I'm one person that looks like I look at results. I don't regret things.
You didn't think sabotage?
No, I don't want to take my mind there. I try to look at the brighter side. Look, it's too much stress thinking of what somebody can do and what somebody can't do.
Oh, but that's enough to dissuade anybody from continuing.
I stopped for like 2 days.
Down, including your investments.
I stopped for a long time, dealt with the fire people, and then we went back. And the first time I remember that I got some money to buy machines. We installed these machines in the bush, thinking we're in the bush, nobody would come. We built a shed and put these machines in. The next day we came, all the motors that power the machines had been stolen. Okay, so all of these things have happened. We've had instances where, look, I remember 2018, I shut down everything. Nobody should come to work again. Take your salaries and go home. We put off our social media handles. Everything was shut down. Website, I took everything down. I was done with the business.
This was in 2018.
I was done with the business. Like, let me go get a job. But then you sit down quietly, and this is what you've come to know so much about. You know this. You could have been a lawyer. Your mates are already practicing, and you spent a lot of your time doing this. Why do you want to stop at this time?
You have to make it stick.
You have to make it work. Look, this is your school fees.
Yeah.
You have to, and I think the main challenge in deciding whether to hold on or keep going actually depends on the vision you have for whatever it is that you've started. Because I'm at a point where I can see what we are driving towards. The idea wasn't just to make charcoal. The idea is to start charcoal, get to a certain point, and then move to the next stage and the next stage.
So that was the voice of Sule Amin Abubakar. He came here on the show and shared his examples with us, from would-be lawyer to now a business owner. If Sule did it in this Ghana, this same Ghana that we are in like this, then you can also do it. In the month of July, our conversation continued. We went back to the area of finance. We looked at financing options for SMEs, what lenders and investors want to know, and building a credible business plan. In that conversation, we had Yao Apia Latte and Dennis Brown, who shared some thoughts with us. But we do have an excerpt and a recording also from Yao Apia from that conversation. Let's take a quick listen.
A credible business plan. In business circle, we call it a bankable business plan. That means that it's a business plan that you can use to achieve the objective of a business plan. The main objective of a business plan is to sell a message to an investor or a fund provider that your business is worth investing in. And that is why your business plan has to be credible, because the person who is giving you the money, the person who is coming to partner with you, the person who is bringing the technology into your business has to understand that, one, the people I'm going to do business with are people who are credible, who've got integrity, and your numbers are not fudged. So you've made profit of 20,000 in the previous year, because you are in a very difficult situation and you want 1 million Ghana cedis instead of a 500,000 that your financial statement is saying you need. You have fudged the numbers. So your sales, you have doubled it. Your pricing, you have increased it. And sometimes what we forget is that as we speak, information is readily available.
Yes.
If you are operating, let's say, in the food manufacturing sector, I can go online. There's a subscription that we have. We can tell the margins that entities who are operating in your sector make on annual basis, on month and benchmark it. So if you tell me that in your area that you operate in, you are making margin of 50%, the first question I'll ask you, where are you getting your raw materials from?
Where are you even selling your? Who are you selling?
And who are you selling to?
Maybe
an
you're
odd
selling
price?
them to angels or to?
Yes. So I think a lot of people, like I said, have got stuff on their laptops, stuff in their office they call business plan, but those are not business plans. They are things that they have, their vision. They are things that they put on paper. Yes, it's good to put your vision on paper, but for it to be credible, it has to go through certain criteria. It has to reflect some hallmark.
That was Yao Apia Latte from Deloitte Ghana. Yao, thank you so much for coming through. In the month of August, we moved on briefly to corporate governance, and we had here with us in the studio Dr. Bernard Tete Dumanya. In that conversation, he talked about corporate governance and finance, and corporate governance and entrepreneurial competencies. That was also a very exciting conversation. Again, we have some playback for you. Let's take a quick listen.
It is important for you to understand the dynamics of corporate governance. Corporate government is not entitlement. And at the point I will tell you, it's like somebody who is on autopilot. But there are sequences before you get to that level. And those sequences are the things that we don't adhere to at all, especially those of us in this part of the world.
I'm excited to learn more.
Yeah. So let's look at the fundamentals. Now, the first thing, there are 4 things that is very, very important. The first one is the people, the purpose, the process, and then the performance. Now, I start with the people because it is the people who comes first in corporate governance. Because people exist on every side of the operational or the business equation. They are the funders, they are the board, they are the stakeholders, they are consumers, and they are some can be impartial observers. People are the organizer who determine the purpose to work, develop the consistency processes to achieve it, evaluate the performance outcomes, use those outcomes to grow themselves and other people. So people in corporate governance is a key. And that is why as people, we always have what we call HR policies. And if I ask in Ghana here, how many institutions have, it's 0. It's so pathetic. But to establish a company or an entity, it is important to also know what kind of direction you take your people through. The second one is the purpose. And the purpose, I always say that, when you sleep, you have vision. In the vision, you have a dream that will lead to the vision. And the vision will lead to the purpose at which you are living. That is the mission. So the purpose is very, very important. Now, maybe one day we'll come here and talk about the reason why some people become entrepreneurs. Because of necessity or because of
inheritance.
Yeah, inheritance or because of opportunity. And I've seen that, and I can say this on authority. 60% of our entrepreneurs are because of necessity. They didn't get a job. So anytime I mentor these entrepreneurs with this organization, anytime they want to live like the way they are living, unless I get a huge amount of money before I move. But entrepreneurship is about innovation and creativity. And therefore, you have to get your purpose right. And every piece of governance exists for the purpose. And to achieve this purpose, you must think about exactly where you are going. There are 3 things that you need to do. Where you are coming from, where you are now, and where you want to go. So, and therefore, if you don't know any of this, then you run into ditch. And every one of these policies that we are talking about a project should exist to further the next agenda. So I'm doing X, Y, like this masterclass. We are doing this to feed into, and I'm happy you said that you went to the field. It is important because what will pertain in the field may be different from the principles that we have.
Exactly, and even the interpretation of it.
Exactly. How the layman understood what you are saying corporate will be different from whatever textbooks. The interesting thing is that I'm waiting for one day that our courses will be written in our own dialect. That will infuse our norms and culture and all those things there so that the interpretation will be easy. But here you have to read and encode or decode before you're able to understand. So if you have somebody that you are not able to do, you run into difficulties. So the purpose for that is also key. The third one is the process. The process is by which people achieve the company's purpose. The process is developed by analyzing performance. So in some development project, they will say, let's do monitoring. Over time, then we do evaluation at the end of it. The essence of this is that we want to align it to the objectives. So when people write business plans, sometimes they write it for the purposes of getting money.
That was Dr. Tete Dumanya sharing some thoughts with us on corporate governance. We want to take a quick message from our sponsors. When we come back, we continue.
Ekuya has sickle cell disease. Kweku is battling with prostate. Auntie Mary has a family history of cancer. All these people have either inherited a genetic disorder from parents and present in the child at birth, or even due to some environmental factors. Remember that genetic conditions affect all ages, economic, social, and religious groups. Don't discriminate if they look different. Early detection may help early intervention and treatment. As we start the GA Genome Project, we invite you to join and follow our public lecture series and get free genetic testing and screening. For more updates and information on how to get the free genetic testing and screening, call 0302 959 246 or visit www.gagenome.org.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Masterclass here on your Superstation Joy 99.7. This is the final edition of Masterclass in the business year 2022. Today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. It's also brought to us by GH Genome. GH Genome, our duty to decode. Your oil marketing company of choice, Goyle, keeps making life ever more so convenient. Goyle now accepts Momo for all fuel purchases. Just remember to Momo it at Goyle, and that is not all. You can use your bank card to buy fuel at any of our Goyle filling stations. Goyle, Good Energy, Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Did you know that disorders like sickle cell, breast, and prostate cancers have a genetic component? Genetic conditions affect all age, economic, social, and religious groups. The GA Genome Project includes public lecture series on the Ghanaian genome and free genetic health screening of sickle cell disease, breast, and prostate cancers. Early detection may help early intervention and treatment. GH Genome, our duty to decode. And so in the month of September, we continued with our conversations, and we had here with us in the studio Esther Dokua Ofosuhene, who came to share some thoughts with us. A mogul, should I say, a big, should I say, person in customer experience. She shared some thoughts with us, currently in charge of customer experience for FBN. And she also had some wonderful thoughts to share with us. Let's take a quick listen from that conversation.
A colleague of mine in South Africa always says that customer experience to her is how a customer feels about themselves after dealing with you as an organization.
Wow.
And it's very profound. So you see, it's not what you say you are, it's what the customer says you are that matters. And most organizations will go around touting themselves, saying we are this, we are that, forgetting that it's the customer's perception of what you think you are that matters the most. Yeah. So, can I continue?
Yes, please go ahead.
So I think you brought up a question of the differences between customer service and customer experience. So now we have a definition of, I think there's one word we call customer service experience that is coming up. And that is purely customer service. So it is the assistance and advice provided by a company or an organization to those people who buy or use its product and services. So I want to buy something, I come to the shop, how you serve me. I have a complaint, I come to you. How you handle it, me at that point in time, when I'm angry, when I'm irate, how you do, what you do to me to calm me down. That is service. It is more of firefighting. So you train your people to always, as a touch point, handle your customers well and firefight and make sure that things don't blow out of you know where you are. That is service. Customer experience. One of my friends said I should tell a story. So customer experience is more like this. You want to travel to, let's say, somewhere, and you think about where should I go for holiday this year, whether internal or external, in country or out. You go on Google, and then the company pop up or a hotel pops up. Among all other hotels, you go to the website, and it's so easy to get all the information you want. And based on that, you make a decision. Then you don't even need to call. You go on, check the available dates. You can make your payment online. You book. They send in your booking, everything. And then you're ready to go. A day before you go, you get an alert or a call saying that, hey, we see that you are coming over tomorrow. Have a safe journey. And we hope to see you soon. You get then somebody at the station or the airport or wherever picking you up. And they are decent looking. They're like, hey, Madam Ofosuhene, welcome. It's so nice to meet you. You know what? This is our car. Come. They take your bag. They put it in the car. The car looks very nice. I'm not saying posh, but it's very decent. It's neat. Engine doesn't sound so loud. You know, you sit in and the person is very professional. They don't talk much. They just welcome you. And if you ask questions, they respond. Then you get to the hotel. They come for your luggage. You go in, then they're like, oh, everything is done. You don't need to do anything. Get your key. You go, the room is perfect. There's water, there's everything. If there's something lacking, you just press. They go, oh, we apologize. We're bringing it immediately. You come, no charges. You know, everything that you preempt is already there for you. Till the day you say you're leaving. On that day, they call you, they actually prompt you the day before that, look, your travel time is actually on this time. Don't be late. We'll give you a call. You don't need to tell them to set an alarm for you. They call you on time. They make sure that everything is as it should be. Your car is waiting. You go, they take you back. Everything is nice. They wish you farewell. And then the next day, you get a call saying, hey, did you arrive safely? We are so grateful for your time. Did everything go well? What can we do to improve? You know, all of that. And then you give them a candid feedback. And they thank you. And they tell you that they would like you to come and visit again. That whole story is what we call the experience.
That was Esther Dukua Fosuhini sharing some thoughts with us. The whole conversation on handling of a customer has moved from it just being a service to how people feel when they deal with you. And so the question was asked, if you dealt with you in a shop, would you like to deal with you again? Let's keep the answer to ourselves. In the month of October, we went on to deal with Oscar Bimpong, who talked about the mindset transformation. He is a mindset transformation man, and he also had some great thoughts to share with us. But the phone lines are now open. Numbers to call 0302-216-541. That's 0302-216-541. You can also send us your comments on 055-11-11997. We do have some gifts for the first set of callers who are going to call through 0302-216-541 or send us your comments on 055-11-11997. Let's take a quick listen to the comments in the conversation with Oscar.
A lot of people think what they don't have is what they need to succeed in life. But what you need to succeed in life is about what is up here. Is the foundation of your success or failure in life. And until we are able to really understand this and start nurturing the power of the mind, I think we will not be able to maximize our potential and we will not be able to succeed as people and as a nation. You see, most of the times, we don't believe in what we have got on the inside of us. We are always chasing what is on the outside. But what is on the inside is more powerful than what we are seeking on the outside. If here is built with a strong foundation, then what is on the outside will be able to be achieved. Do you know that whatever you seek on the outside, you can lose it? Easy, right? But a strong mindset, somebody who is passionate in what they believe in, a strong desire to succeed. These are innate characteristics that it doesn't matter how you fall. If this is strong, you can always come back to where you belong to. Your success or failure starts in the mind. It doesn't start when you take a step. I always say that in a football match, some teams, they lose the match in the dressing room before they go on the field. Because they are looking at their opponent and they're like, we don't have a chance. So, and the moment you think that you cannot go out there and win, you have lost the battle 30% before you go on the field.
Let's bring this to business. What are some of the thoughts that a business person can have so that they will lose before they have started?
Let me go and try.
Let me go and try.
Yes.
There are too many people selling this thing.
Yes, I don't have a chance.
Where I am, there are not enough people.
It's so competitive.
That was Oscar Bimpong with some thoughts there. We have our first caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon, sir.
Right. Your name and where you're calling from, sir.
My name is Abraham.
Right. Abraham, you're my first caller for today.
Okay.
Before you share your points, I have a question for you on Masterclass. If you're able to get that question correct, we have a gift pack for you. You can pick it up at the front desk of Joy FM anytime after the show today. So are you ready for your question, Abraham?
Okay.
Okay. What time does Joy Business Masterclass air on Joy FM? What time does Joy Business Masterclass air on Joy FM?
It starts from 1:30.
Okay. You are correct, Abraham, for 10 points. So you've won for yourself a gift pack. After the show, please pick it up at the front desk of Joy FM. But please talk to us.
Oh, I should bring my ID.
Yeah, you can bring your ID as well. Bring your ID as well.
That's fine.
Yeah, but give us feedback on Masterclass. What would you like to see us do differently next year?
Like all areas of businesses, like private, like foundation business, like individual businesses.
Right.
It looks like that's what I have to do now.
Right. Thank you so much, Abraham. Do you have any additional information for us, Abraham?
No, no.
Right. Thank you so much for calling. So Abraham is my first caller. He's giving us his feedback and he's got his question correct. Masterclass starts at 1:30 p.m. every Wednesday on Joy FM. Phone lines are still open 0302216541. You can also send us your comments on 05511111997. Those were thoughts from Oscar Bimpong. He shared some thoughts with us. Phone lines are still open. Let's get you to pick up that phone, give us a call, and you can also win something for yourself. In the month of November, first 2 weeks of November, we concluded our conversation with digital strategy from Ebo Richardson and also from Stephen Boedi. They shared some thoughts with us. I recall that when I started the conversation here today, I talked about the fact that we should begin to look at digitization as a lifestyle and not as a thing for the tech boys. Thank you so much to all our resource persons for coming through from beginning of year through to the end of year now. We're bringing Masterclass to an end today because we want to make space for the live broadcast of the World Cup series, which will be starting shortly. And I think I have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon. I'm Evans calling from Oyarifa.
Evans, you've become my best listener for the last 2 months. How is Oyarifa this afternoon, Evans?
Yes, everything is
Brilliant. So your question. Let me see if I can get an easy one for you. Who is the host of Joy Business Masterclass? Who is the host of Joy Business Masterclass? Full name.
Please, let's continue the full name. I can't remember the full name.
You can't remember the full name.
Oh, God.
Who is the host of Joy Business Masterclass? Okay. Evans, don't worry. We still love you and appreciate you that you've been listening to us. What feedback do you have from us? What topics would you like us to treat in the coming year?
I think I prefer more of the mindset revolution when it comes to corporate governance and like normal businesses like SMEs. We really need a lot of the mindset revolution.
Right.
For it.
Thank you so much for that feedback, Evans. We're grateful. Thank you. We're grateful to you. Phone line still open. I've got one more gift pack to give away. Do I have a caller on the line? Okay, not yet. Numbers to call 0302216541. That's 0302216541 or 05511111997. So I'm still waiting to give away my last pack. We want to acknowledge the following persons for being with us and supporting the show throughout the year. The first acknowledgement goes to you, our cherished listeners. So I'm clapping my hands right now for all of you. Thank you so much for listening to Masterclass and making Masterclass one of the best business shows on the airwaves. Thank you so much for supporting the show all these years. And going forward into 2023, we know that you're going to keep listening. You're going to keep sharing. Click that share button and send the link. If you missed any of our shows, the shows are available on Facebook. For all those of our listeners who also called in, I have a caller on the line who wants to win my last gift. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon. This is Rukaya. I'm calling from Hachu.
I was hoping that it would be a female. Rukaya, you have gladdened my heart. Where are you calling from?
Hachu.
How's Hachu this afternoon, Rukaya?
Oh, Hachu is just very warm.
Very, very warm, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Rukaya, so let me look for an easy question for you.
Okay.
So that you can win. Okay, let me ask you Evans' question. Who is the host of Joy Business Masterclass? Full name?
Let's see if what I'll mention will be right.
Let's try.
Would that be your full name?
No, the host. I'm talking about the host.
Barnafo.
Okay, I'll consult my producer. My producer, please let me know whether she has got it. While my producer is thinking about it, please stay on the line. My producer will let me know very shortly. We also want to say thank you to all those who called in, like Rukaya. Okay, my producer says I should give it to you. Rukaya, you've won the second gift pack. The name of the host of Joy Business Masterclass is Anim Barnafo, and that is my name. So thank you for getting it right. Okay, I think she's off the line now. For all those who called into the show, I want to say a big thank you to you. For all of our sponsors throughout the year, for Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia, First Code Management Services, you were also helpful to us during the year, and GH Genome, our duty to decode. You also helped us during the year. Thank you so much for supporting Masterclass. And then to the production crew. I've been trying to do this for about 4 years now. I've never been successful. Try to get my producer on the microphone. she never comes to the microphone. But Sarah, you're a great person. She always says that she calls me the host with the most, and I say that she's producer extraordinaire. So Sarah, thank you so much for all the work, all the support. Sarah Amele Ijosu is the producer of Masterclass. Abeku Sankofi is with us on the systems engineer extraordinaire. Sammy Forson, my personal person, thank you so much for supporting us on Masterclass. Tracy Newman, you're on the production crew. Mirabel Johnson, Chris Kumi, and everyone else who has supported us. Thank you so much for supporting Masterclass. And also to Multimedia and to Joy FM. Thank you for supporting Masterclass. Thank you so much. We hope that next year we're able to bring some better editions of Masterclass. You've all been wonderful stakeholders, and we're tremendously grateful to you. Until we come your way again in the new year, this has been Masterclass here on your Superstation Joy 99.7. And I've been your host, Yao Anim Barnafo. It's been an absolute privilege serving all of you. God willing, we'll bring you Masterclass again in the new year. But until then, let's grow our businesses. Let's stay blessed. Let's stay safe. Let us also remember that in extreme times of difficulty, opportunities abound. God willing, we'll see you all on the other side. We wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. Shalom, and thank you.